Hi everybody, I'm Hannah Kirshner from Sweets and Bitters, doing my weekly Facebook Live for Food 52. I came to my brother's house in San Francisco for Thanksgiving and I'm still here. And we're starting to get a little bit tired of leftovers, as delicious as they are. So this morning we're gonna make pancakes with turkey in them. Just kidding. We're just gonna make straightforward pancakes. And these are pancakes that you can make without a recipe, or a very simple recipe that's easy to memorize. So yeah, I did a quick search on Food 52's site this morning, and there are so many variations of pancakes. So if you're looking for something a little different to do and you want to switch it up, there's lots of inspiration there. My brother Owen, who's behind the camera, he and his girlfriend, I think, you've got a well-stocked kitchen here, but it doesn't look like you guys cook very much.
No, that's why you're here.
So unlike my kitchen, there's not a variety of flours to choose from. There's not leftover buttermilk from a photo shoot and, different kinds of grain flours. But there is all-purpose flour, there's baking powder, there's milk, there's eggs, there's sugar. You guys have the essentials. So actually, anybody who's watching, if you want to cook along with us, gather your ingredients now. You need some flour, all-purpose flour is great, baking powder, sugar, milk, and an egg, and some salt, and some butter or oil. Just realizing salt is over here. And then, yeah, that's basically it. So anybody who's watching, if you want to chime in with any tips or favorite recipes you have for pancakes. We can still talk about Thanksgiving leftovers if everybody isn't tired of that. What are you making with your leftovers? Any great breakfast ideas with leftovers? We were thinking about making a hash or some fritters or something, but we've been eating a lot of Thanksgiving leftovers. We made turkey pho last night. That was pretty good. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do actually, so these guys have a cast iron and a carbon steel pan, but they don't get a lot of use, so I want to season the pans so that the pancakes won't stick. So let's go over to the stove and get that started, and then we'll return to making our pancakes. So that way anybody who wants to cook along, you have a minute to gather your pancake ingredients. Oh, I see that Charlotte's saying that you have a great kitchen. This is not my kitchen, Charlotte. If you ever watch my videos, I'm on every Sunday here at this time, and my kitchen is a Brooklyn apartment kitchen. It's a lot smaller, and it's got a lot more stuff crammed in. We don't have cabinets so much as open shelves, so if you're used to watching my videos, you will notice we're in a different space this weekend. All right, so this is a really easy way to season cast iron. If you haven't used it in a long time and it's a little dried out, or if it's brand new, if it got washed with soap, just take a little oil. Usually I go for like a neutral oil like canola or safflower and just wipe it around so that it's got a nice coating all over the pan. Not like pooling in the bottom at all, but that the whole thing has some shine to it. And we're gonna do the same thing with this carbon steel pan over here. And then this is as simple as, you can do this in the oven, or you can do it on the stovetop, and you just want to heat it until it smokes. And that's basically sealing that oil on there and creating, there's a chemical reaction that happens. I don't know what the reaction it is, but there actually, something about the oil and heat is actually, it's not just the oil that ends up creating the nonstick surface. There's some sort of more sophisticated chemical reaction. So anyways, I'm just going to turn these burgers on medium and let that kind of happen in the background while we're making our pancakes. Turn the fan on low, but if it becomes too noisy, please let us know if you're having a hard time hearing me over the fan. Don't want to smoke up my brother's apartment though. All right, so pancake time. The easiest pancake recipe to remember is basically one, like one of everything. We'll start from a cup of flour, a tablespoon of sugar, a teaspoon of baking powder, a pinch of salt, a cup of milk, 1 egg. That's your very, very basic pancake recipe that is easy enough to remember and not have to pull out the cookbook every time. And also so simple that there is really no justification for pancake mix. Unless you just love your pancake mix. I mean, pancakes are just so simple and you probably have most of the ingredients, even if you don't cook that often. So, all right, I'm gonna fluff the flour a little bit so that I'm not measuring it, not getting too much in the cup. But honestly, this recipe is so forgiving. If you don't have a measuring cup, just use a sort of regular sized coffee mug. That's fine. I think we're gonna double it because we've got 4 people here. I think we've got, what do you think, Owen? How many pancakes can you eat?
I'm good for at least 3 or 4.
Yeah. No, what do you think about pancake size? Should we do dollar pancakes, big pancakes?
I always prefer the big ones.
Yeah. How about you guys, whoever's watching, what do you think is the ideal pancake size? So we're doubling this, but the recipe is based on one cup of flour, so we're doubling to 2. 1 tablespoon of sugar, but we'll double to 2. Now, of course, you can make it sweeter or less sweet. And then 1 teaspoon, I like to go with a generous teaspoon of baking powder and make them a little fluffy. Now, if you have buttermilk, you could use partly baking soda. Okay, oh, I need a whisk or a fork. Oh, like I said, even though you guys don't cook a lot, you've got a very well set up kitchen. And then salt. I have
differing
generous
opinions on pancake size. Kelly Jane says as big as my head. Wayne says dollar size. Sherry also supports silver dollar size.
You see, I think people have strong feelings about pancake size. I need another little bowl to do my wet ingredients. Oh, here, you want to just head over to the stove for a second with the camera, Owen? You can see this one is smoking now. So we've done our work as far as seasoning it. I'm going to turn it off. Anybody that's just joining, we're seasoning the pans before we start because they haven't been used very much. So we just put a small coating of oil and bringing that up until it smokes, and then that's good. We've created a seal that's going to be almost as good as nonstick. All right, so back to the pancakes. Anybody just tuning in, I'm Hannah from Sweets and Bitters, and I'm live for Food 52 every Sunday at about this time doing some home cooking. And today, I'm not in my Brooklyn apartment, I'm in my brother's condo in San Francisco. We had Thanksgiving here and doing some post-Thanksgiving easy cooking, taking a break from eating leftover turkey and stuffing and all of that. Okay, oh, we're doubling, so I'm gonna need 2 eggs. If anybody else is making weekend breakfast right now, what are you doing? What do you make when you get together with your family for breakfast? I remember our dad making pancakes a lot, like if we had company or if we came home. I really appreciated he used to make like the animal pancakes, different shapes, or he'd make like your initial.
Patty Alcaraz says she always makes pancakes or waffles with some little chocolate chips for her little guys.
Oh yeah. I always felt like chocolate chips was taking it a little too far towards dessert.
Joan makes biscuits and gravy.
Oh, I want to go to Joan's house. That sounds good. All right, so then I'm just going to beat some of the milk into the eggs. So I like a thin pancake, so I do a cup of milk to a cup of flour, but if you like a thicker, fluffier pancake, you could do a little less milk. I just beat half of it into the eggs, and then I'll just pour the rest in. And the one thing about pancakes, everything about making pancakes is really easy, pretty foolproof, but just don't overmix it. It's better to have a lumpy batter than to overmix it, because if you stir too much, that's when it's gonna get, that's what's gonna make you have like overly chewy pancakes or kind of tough pancakes. So just real gentle mixing. And I'm gonna leave it kind of undermixed because I still wanna add some melted butter to that batter. So I'm just gonna take a nice...
That other pan is
Is our other pan smoking? Alright, so I'm going to take the nice big chunk of butter, go back over to the stove, put that in this little pan to melt. You can, get the butter flavor in from cooking them in butter or from putting butter on top, but it's just extra nice if you get the butter on the inside. Okay, so here's our other pan that we seasoned. Just coated it in oil and brought it to a smoking point. So now it's essentially non-stick. I'm going to turn it down, but we still actually want them pretty hot for pancake cooking. I always preheat the pans while I'm mixing the batter, especially since mixing the batter only takes a couple minutes. And then, okay, let's get everybody involved in talking about, are we going to cook them in butter or oil? What is your preference? If you cook them in butter, you get that nice butter flavor, but you get the more sort of like speckly, crispy surface. If you want the like diner pancake that's perfectly smooth, you gotta cook them in oil. Then you don't get that as much butter flavor. So
Patty says Paula Deen style, so I assume that means butter.
Anybody else have an opinion? What do you do, Owen, when you cook pancakes?
Butter. Usually.
Butter.
Richard also says butter.
So flavor over beauty here is what I'm hearing. Okay. Alright. So, well, it's good that everybody is on board with using lots of butter, because here we go. I'm going to put some butter in the batter, and then we'll cook it in more butter. I think we should do one pan with butter and one pan with oil and just like kind of do a comparison just for fun. Okay, so as I was saying, the like one trick to making great pancakes is just do not overmix it, because stirring it too much is going to make them get tough. So lumps are okay. Just mix it until the flour is all moistened. And that's about it. I think we're just about there. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick cleanup as I go here. Got milk and flour all over the counter. All right. Is everybody else out there still eating Thanksgiving leftovers? Are you sick of them yet? Are you doing anything creative with them? We had some excellent turkey sandwiches, which is my favorite part of Thanksgiving. I love it more than the meal itself, is that turkey sandwich the day after. And then yesterday we made turkey pho. That was good. That sort of took us in a different flavor direction. All right, so over here to pancake area. So you want, I think, medium-high heat, but I always find while I'm cooking pancakes that I have to keep adjusting to get it just right. Okay, so we're gonna do butter in one pan and oil in another as a comparison. Anybody just joining, I'm Hannah from Sweets and Bitters, here for Food 52. In my brother's apartment this weekend, cooking some pancakes.
Yeah, and Carol Breaker says she's loving the leftover dirty rice her friend made from
that's a good
Thanksgiving
idea.
leftovers.
All right, let's see, looking for a good utensil for scooping the batter. Let's see, the measuring cup's good for that. I like to do that with a measuring cup. All right, so let's do a couple and see how this goes. Oh, the butter's burning, so I'm gonna hurry up and get some batter into there. Adjust the heat a little. So that's our butter pan, and then this is our oil pan. I think we might have a little too much oil in there. Maybe pour some of that off. So you can keep the camera on that, and I will deal with this oil. Okay. All right. Pancake number 2 starting. And they say once you see bubbles starting to pop on the surface, that's when you know it's time to flip the pancake. So, starting to see bubbles. Now, I bet since everybody's watching, I'll burn my pancakes or do a bad job flipping. There we go. So that's what you get when you cook them in butter, is that sort of crispy, pocked crust. And oil is going to give us a smoother crust. Sometimes the first pancake, you have to, as they say, get the pan in the mood. and sometimes the first pancake just doesn't turn out so great, and you shouldn't worry about it. Feed that one to the dog, or have that as your cook's snack, and then serve your guests the prettier ones. Anybody have favorite toppings or fillings for pancakes? I like blueberry pancakes. I often keep frozen blueberries in the freezer, and then rather than mixing them into the batter, I'll just like put them in on top. You don't have any frozen blueberries, do you?
I don't think so.
Alright, so starting to see the bubbles coming to the surface. So I think it's almost time to flip that one.
So Carol asked that you explain the difference between butter and oil.
Oh yeah, okay, so, well, you'll see more difference after this first pancake, I think. But if you want a nice, smooth, even-toned surface that looks like a pancake you get from a diner, you get that by cooking in oil. If you want the flavor of butter and a little more crisp surface, you get that from butter. Did I say that right? Yeah. Oil, you get the more diner-looking pancake, then butter, go for the flavor. Okay. It always takes me a couple pancakes to sort of get the ideal heat too, so that they're cooking evenly, cooking through, not burning. Alright, anybody telling us about their favorite pancake toppings or fillings?
Lucy DiNardo said that her mom adds a drop of vanilla for flavor.
Oh, that's a nice idea. I do that every once in a while. So we were having, actually, I went to 2 Thanksgiving dinners this year. We had ours on Friday so that a family could all get here, and then I went to a friend's Thanksgiving dinner on Thanksgiving Day, and there was a discussion about maple syrup versus Mrs. Butterworth's, and it seems like it really comes down to what you grew up with. Like, I think breakfast, more than any other meal, we really like what's sort of familiar and nostalgic. And I mean, I think it's got to be real maple syrup all the way. But if you grew up with Mrs. Butterworth's, I think that for some people that flavor is very appealing and comforting. So I'm guessing that the Food 52 audience is mostly real maple syrup people, but I don't want to shame anybody if that's not their thing. All right. So cooking another one in butter there, and then here you go. I think that's a pretty good example. You can see cooked in oil how that's got a more even surface, more like a diner pancake. Now, hopefully, if you want to show the oil pan again, most of the oil was soaked up into that pancake, but hopefully this pan is seasoned enough and warm enough that we don't really need much oil for that next pancake. Should be able to just go ahead with it. Do a smaller one this time. We can do a variety of sizes to please everybody. How's that? So yeah, the secret to pancakes, really the only thing is just don't overmix it, and then keep an eye on them to get the temperature right. Once you start to see the bubbles coming through the surface, then it's time to flip. That one has a few bubbles, but I'm going to wait just a little bit longer. It still looks pretty soft. I see somebody there saying Butterworth's. Salted butter and really good maple syrup. Elizabeth, I am with you on that. Rockin' Ryan says Canadian maple syrup. Okay, is there a difference between regional maple syrups? I mean, I'm sure there is. I don't think that I'm loyal to maple syrup from a particular region. How about you, Owen? Favorite maple syrup?
I'm gonna say Vermont.
I mean, that is classic. Alright, so lots of little bubbles on the surface now. We'll flip. So that's our butter pancake. That has a nice crisp edge there, and it's going to be very flavorful. And then over here we have one that was cooked in oil, and that has that more even surface you get from a diner. So anybody else have any pancake pointers? What did people put?
Got a suggestion for warm plates to
Oh yeah, that's
keep
nice.
your fresh pancakes hot.
Yeah, I love eating these little like crispy bits that come off. I remember when our dad would make pancakes when we were little, and standing by the stove and like eating these little crispy bits as he cooked pancakes. And then Dad would also make you know, your initials or your favorite animal or whatever.
We've got a suggestion from Michael for maple bacon grease.
Oh, yeah, that sounds pretty good. And yeah, that's another good thing you can cook your pancakes in is bacon grease. If you've been cooking bacon, you could use that instead of the oil or butter. Okay.
Cynthia is all about the blueberries.
Yeah, I'm with you, Cynthia. Blueberries, real maple syrup. Sometimes I cook them in oil because I like the way it looks, but then serve them with more butter on top. You want a pretty hot pan for pancakes. You don't want to burn them, but you want them to cook fast. Like this, I think, is a little, maybe. What, are you pointing out something? Is something wrong?
This one looks a little hot.
No. Maybe it's a little hot. That's looking pretty good. Oh yeah, so we were talking about keeping things warm. So sometimes I'll put the oven to like 200 and have a heat-proof plate and keep the pancakes in the oven while I cook so that when we serve them, they're still hot. And, I mean, pancakes, it's like you pretty much always have the ingredients in your pantry. Oh, that's pretty, huh? Oh, that's a nice even surface. That's like a ideal pancake cooking right there. But, so if you cook them in butter, you know, you don't get that even surface, but you sure do get lots of nice buttery flavor. And I'm not sure what happens when you cook them in like bacon grease as far as how they look. Anybody do that? When you cook in bacon grease, do you get a smooth or sort of puffed surface? I would guess it's probably smoother, more like cooking in oil. Oh, that is a beauty. Look at that. All right. So anybody just joining us, I'm Hannah from Sweets and Bitters. Every Sunday I do some sort of cooking project or food related thing here with Food 52 at this time. And today I'm in San Francisco at my brother's house. Usually I'm at my own apartment in Brooklyn. Sometimes we visit the chickens in the backyard. Sometimes I'm cooking something in my kitchen. But today I'm in San Francisco. I came for Thanksgiving. And oh my gosh, was it fun shopping from the farmers markets here. I'm used to New York. Oh, well, we did a quick video at the farmers market. I don't know how good it was. It was a little awkward, but it was such a novelty to see all this produce in California that we certainly don't have in New York this time of year. Persimmons and citrus and like a whole rainbow of colors, not just greens and squash and roots. All right, it is like it's almost go time here. We have like maybe 1 or 2 pancakes worth left. I think we probably have to serve one up with maple syrup and try a bite before we
Sounds
finish.
good to me.
Any comments or questions?
Rockin' Ryan Olson just asked if I have chickens. I do not have chickens.
But you grew up with chickens.
Grew up with chickens.
Yeah, we grew up on a farm in Washington State, and there were goats, sheep, chickens. Owen was very good at naming chickens, so I particularly liked Pickle Bob, who was like a black and green rooster. Barn Yellow was like a golden laced Wyandotte, I think. And Bongo, who was a crusted Polish, which are the ones that have they look like Einstein. They have this big tuft of, like it's black chicken with a big tuft of white feathers. And I remember Bongo, his big puff on his head sort of hung down in his eyes so he couldn't really see, and he like would run into things. And he was very tame. You could just go up to him and pick him up because he couldn't really see you coming. I mean, it's sort of surprising he wasn't more skittish, considering that he couldn't see.
Yeah.
Anyway, someone asked if Owen has chickens too. He does not, but we grew up with chickens, and Owen giving them funny names. I don't know, what else do you remember about the chickens, Owen?
I remember the fun names. I remember the run-ins with raccoons from time to time.
Oh, yeah, that's not such a good memory. Alright, I think we're gonna cook one last pancake, and then serve them up. Oh, and should we just eat these all before anybody else wakes up? Or
Yeah,
should we
I
save
think so.
some for your girlfriend and our mother?
I think we have plenty to share.
Can always make more, as you guys saw. Very easy. I would think probably most of the Food 52 viewers know how to make pancakes from scratch. But if you don't, now you see, it's very simple. And
The question of who's recording, it's the brother.
oh yeah, that's my brother. I'm sorry, I've introduced him a couple times, but that's my younger brother, Owen. I'm at his house right now, doing some post Thanksgiving breakfast. Yeah, came out to San Francisco for the week, for the holiday, and a visit. I'm sure some of our viewers are here in San Francisco too, and they're not as like amazed and excited about the farmers markets as I was, but I was like, oh my god, there's so much cool stuff. Avocados from the farmers market? What? Alright, last pancake. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, I'm gonna get some plates so that we can serve up a couple. Yeah, those are the ones we cooked, and we cooked half in oil and half in butter just to demonstrate kind of the difference in how they look. Oops. All right.
Karen's also in SF and loves the markets here.
Yeah. Does Karen have a favorite farmer's market? Which is the best one?
She asked if you hit the Ferry Building
Yes,
farmers
I
market.
loved that one. Yes. Somebody was commenting because I did a quick Facebook Live from one of the other farmers markets, and they were saying, oh, I should have gone to the Ferry Building one, but no, I went to that one too. I did a farmers market a day pre-Thanksgiving to shop for lots of stuff. We had a very vegetable-centric Thanksgiving. We had a turkey, but I feel like the vegetables were really the I don't know, that's what I get excited about. All right, so here's our final pancake, which I'm gonna put a nice big piece of salted butter. You think that's enough butter?
Plenty.
I'll let that get a little melty.
Karen says if you're here today, check out the one on Deedee's near Nopa.
Oh yeah, I know, but I'm leaving tomorrow.
Oh, it is. I think it's.
I'm leaving tomorrow, so I don't know. I guess I could get some like avocados and yuzu to take home. All right, follow me over here. So, yeah, it's after Thanksgiving. I'm at my brother's house in San Francisco. He is manning the camera, and we're having some pancakes to take a break from eating leftovers. A little bit different scene here than my crowded kitchen in Brooklyn. Okay, one of the great things about being a grown-up is that nobody tells you not to pool the expensive maple syrup on your plate, and you can have as much as you want.
Pretty good?
Mm-hmm.
Does it taste as good as it looks?
Yeah, it does. It does. Here, before we go, I want to show them your Christmas tree. And
Sure.
Can I introduce you, or are you going to hide from the camera?
Sure.
Owen put up his Christmas tree. That's my brother, Owen. All right, I'm going to sign off. Somebody said, great work, Owen. I see. All right, thank you. See you guys next week. Every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or this morning I got up early in San Francisco to be here at 8. If you guys ever have requests, let me know. And you can find me at Sweets and Bitters, Sweets the letter N Bitters, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the places, sweetsandbitters.com, and I have some posts on Food 52 also, and check out Food 52 if you need pancake recipes beyond what we've done today. All right, thanks, bye.